Good morning, friend. This is Jeff Arcos. Welcome again to the daily webinar. Today we are Friday, 3rd of January 2020. Remind you this webinar is not meant to be a financial advice. This is only an education presentation. Please consider term and condition before you continue and when you receive this recording. As well, thank God for another day into my life and pray His blessings to that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Try to start the week. As we know, I believe it's gonna be a very, I'm really glad that I did not actually open new trades or nothing. Just was a very, it's been a nice 2 weeks without, yeah, because the market can be everywhere, anywhere, so surprises can happen. Um, but so plus, it's so sad to see if maybe Kojo doesn't know, but Australia's and one of the most horrific bushfires ever in history of this country. And yeah, thanks God here until this morning even we have rained here, and it's been raining the last maybe month. It's quite reasonable rains, and yeah. So, but when I see the news about what happened, from North South Queensland and New South Wales and Victoria, I don't know how in Perth things are. I think it is. Are you okay over there, Helen? But for the rest of the places are very bad. All right, that's Friday. Tomorrow morning, I guess, will be the same. Um, yeah, yes. 1 a.m. we have ISM and manufacturing PMI, and now next week is going to be quite interesting as non-farm payroll will be on the 10th. Is when it's going to come. So these days over here will be a bit, sometimes people stay away before these announcements and the real money really comes from their onwards, but we will see anyway how that happens. Okay, and that's it. So let's have a look the chats from last week. This from Monday. What we did have first of all is the dollar. The dollar we did have a full down, so the dollar definitely is doing down moves as we can see so far. So that's what it was. That's the yen. Sorry, not the dollar. That's the yen. So that was one of the first in the beginning of the week with very. So should be looking to go long with the rest of the currencies, and so that was one. The euro yen, and I don't think so. The euro yen has done really much. So the market just completely went opposite. So therefore, there is no trade for this week with that one there. So we didn't make money, and we did not lose money as well. Then we did have the pound yen. So nice sort of kind ABC. So everything was sort of ready over here, and the pound yen did enter over there as the market move on, 100 pips, break even, and that's it. So nothing has happened, and yeah, can do much over there. Okay. Then we did have the US as comes over here. So same as the yen, it comes the same sort of move, and yeah. So then we're looking to go long with all of the currencies that were available. So Euro US, it was in a quite good over there. So look at there, and yeah. So enter over here. Stop loss was over there. So 34 pips are gone. Yeah, I knew the moves of this week could not be there. So that was another with the pound US and the Sen. So when we see here, the market enter over here, it reached 100 pips, become break even from that moment. So it gets apart from that 100 pips, 50% break even. So we just got half of the lot size, and then that's it. So like I said, this is um, yeah, could be very unpredictable, the moves of this week. And Euro Canadian seems like it hasn't been anywhere, but anyway, Euro Canadian was over here, and I think it fails because he got the tray somewhere over here, and it stopped me out with 37 pips. Then the market is moving now in a different direction. So hasn't been much really at the end of the day um, from there. Now, um, so that's the first the first week of the year, and yeah, that's what I say. You know, everything will start from following the next week. So we looking you know, one specific things on the weekly time frame is about the first week you know, that turns around. So the first week turns up, the first week down, up, down, up, down, and so on. You know, so we're going looking for that week, looking the index meter. So what I want to, you know, get always is just the first week that turn around. But one of the things as well that always will help us to identify those weeks, you know, when is the best weeks of that, is a very simple, you know, that's the monthly. So we finish the monthly over there. Um, and we always say, you know, the power of that, of that. So for example, this month is bearish. But what is interesting, what I see, one of the most significant weeks that you can ever find is the first week of the beginning of the month that you will find that turns around. That can become one of the most crucial opportunities to trade the weekly candle close. More than try to hunt in every week around. That week normally will be a very important week, and the market from there it moves. So we are at the end of the month, and normally we have to move one more to match up 1103, 1103. So that's the end of the month, and that's it. But it's the first week of that month who's determined the moves that we see over here. So it looks to me that, you know, when we see the monthly up and down, we actually need to keep an eye what is happening in this top, what happened in the bottom, what happened in the top, what happened in the bottom, top, and so on. Because if you look just that alone, you know, that we come, you know, the first week of the month will be sort of kind of interesting to see what is happening, you know. So we just turning, you know, so it would be next week, the first week of the month, because we just turning through the middle of the week there, they will be interesting over there. So if we're looking, for example, there, that month finished quite up, and that's the first week of that month. So that's how we ended up 0707. So, and through here is very, you know, sort of kind of interesting scenario is why the market refused to close above. So the first week of the month it was that. Maybe I would try that. Definitely following the monthly there. But then the next week didn't do, and suddenly we got that week over there. So we find a bearish week on the top of the hill, if if you know what I mean over there. So in the top of the hill, and this is the shopping levels that the market, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and that I believe it will be the good hunting. So we have 12 months, so that will be the 12 great opportunities that we can actually find it every single month. So that's the top of the month. And then of course here one of the things is going to guide us is the index meter. So try to find the best so here it will tell us what happened. So there it is, one there. So this is bearish, so that's the first week it went up. This is bullish, and the first week of the month, and then it comes down big time. This is ended up down. Here we already got a beautiful, and it went up over there. So, and every time the monthly retrace over there, we'll have that opportunity. That actually match with the weekly candle close retracement strategy. But this case using the monthly, which is more stronger, that every time the market pulls, you always gonna have a new opportunity to trade short. Every time the monthly pulls, you always gonna have a new opportunity to trade short. And for example, in these cases, when we have something like that, this is very strong. Looking at the monthly perspective as well, if you look in the option trader, that's what they're looking. They're looking for big turnarounds, and this is where you're gonna find the turnaround. Something like this with a monthly like that, and you come and have the first week down, that's a serious business. If you're not in the rush to to move you there, and then and that could be a good opportunity as well to continue with that one there. When we're looking at this kind of opportunities, and look, that's the months has coming down, 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 down. It faced a shopping level, and it's interesting that first and the second week, suddenly things has changed, and that it is. So sometimes we're gonna have very smooth moves into the market, sometimes not, but there it is. So every time the market comes up, I want to be looking opportunities to go down. So in this case, the market did not go down, but it went continue up um, until the end of the month. And when you're looking um, what kind of sort of resistance can have from there, and here we got that first week with the top of the month, first week down. I don't know what the index meter would tell me there, but and through the whole there, we see that something is happening. So if I go long there, that's fine, following the strength of that, but never take your eyes off that, because from there the market just move in a completely different direction. Sort of market comes down, we find a new level of support and resistance. So that's the first week, 604, 604. And if I'm not too sure about that, the next week we're done, and that it is. Now that's, when you look in monthly and weekly chart, why we're using the daily is, should be just focusing and one of the first CA actually the company did for me, it was based on, and actually to have to use the weekly midpoint as the weekly midpoint as a stop loss, because here you can take this, so you just really, to trade this, you only need 2 time frames, the monthly and the weekly over there, and that's it. Whatever we want to trade from there, stop loss over here, and that's it. And then keep there. We got over here. Beautiful. One try, second try, and that is the move over there. We got over there. The end of the, and look what happened the first week. So really, for this 2020, actually, we have now, the EA that can actually, make sure to have this. This could be, sort of easy, um, way of looking. I want to get it, the 12 months of the year, looking for these opportunities, and suddenly finds very very nice levels like this. Let's look something different. uh, let's put it there. So every the end of the month, like I said, always keep an eye what happened there. So this would be my first try. Definitely this was a turning point for me. Yes, I have no way to do anything here. It was choppy, but look the double bottom of that one there, and there it is. That's the end of the month. First try, maybe I got a loss. Second try and recover my loss from there. How cool is that, huh? The end of the month, and here in this, the other day I was actually looking, every the end of the month, I want to see the weekly index mira here. When is the time that it says? That's April 21. I don't know if I have that far. April 21 on the weekly. I go to, let me have a look. April 22, April 21. So if we look in that, this is 2021, which would be 22. It's one day forward. So that's that. In the New Zealand, it was with minus 66, while the New Zealand the previous week it was on a positive. So right over here, the New Zealand matched the weekly. So we got that weekly over there. We got the top of this month. The market has no reacted over there. So it seems like it's bouncing from that high, and now we have a move down, and that's it. So we have to have an eyes at the beginning of the month, like right now. Next week it will be very interesting. Are we gonna, from all of these tops, we're gonna turn around or no? So same as here, the beginning of that, and look what happened. So it seems like a determined, long, strong moves, and yeah. Same is happened with any index on the same way that if you're looking the end of the month, and when we could look here, weeks like this one, are quite actually determined. Now, when the market retraces like this one, I wouldn't need to wait for the full ABC confirming, because I'm not hunting anymore at the bottom of the, I'm not in this, I'm not here, I'm just right in the top. And because I was looking to go short over there, the short fails, but now the short say we're gonna continue go long over there. But that's another, the beginning of the month. We don't have index meter here, but there we are. The beginning of the month. Find something that reverse, and we always gonna find something in place. And as you see, this is when, sort of kind of, if we're looking, okay, the year has 12 months, so I'm gonna be looking these 12 strong moves that the market will provide us from there. So you're gonna trade a lot of less, especially if we only get the US and the pound group, but those trades could be quite significant. So here could be another one over there. Yes, look, to go long over there and fails. And when we look in those, look at the beginning of the top of the month over there, and has nothing, here. Plus we got that shopping level. So those gonna be the strategy for the 2020. And yeah, so we just need to be ready for it. I think it's gonna keep us away from lot of the trades that we don't want it. And if we look at that, look here over there, the bottom of that market, looking for the first week up, that is gold. The top of the market, looking for that one, didn't do much. The top of that, looking the first week, and there it is. Market comes to a level of close to support. First week up. How cool is very, very nice like that. Wow. And here it went through a sideways period, but really this, if we're looking from January 2019, the opportunities you can get just by looking that and using the common sense there. This is the dash. And the same thing, this one, for example, are more clear at the, when the month finishes like that with a weekly like this one, there it is. If we look in there, that was not really a short, that was maybe yes, no, but never would it be triggered. But suddenly that one is now an ABC with the, now we're trading this, the strength of the candle, which is the strategy number 1. And here we don't use the trend lines, nothing, it's just, the there. But that's how it works over there. Here at the top of this month, we got a few resistance, and first try is there, second try there, and that it is. That's the bottom of the month. We look in the first week that turns around, bearish and bullish, and there you go. So that's a good way to hunting the shopping levels that we're looking. The bottom of the month over there, and this is when we're hunting right over here, and that it is. If here possible, we're looking, okay, this is the top of the month and this is there, never will be triggered, but the next week, then you say, oh, I'm trading the strength now. So there are two ways to trade, the retracement and the strength of the candle. If we're trading here, we find there, no, we'll not be trading. Here we look in trade, maybe we'll not be trading, but we look in the next week, now we're trading the following strength, if you know what I mean with it. But this is a very cool way. So we got 12 bars to look at. We can already analyze the where we are, why and those levels are so important. Is the market obeying support and resistance levels? And every time we have, levels like this one, levels like that, why not to take advantage of something like this one? Okay, so looking now in here, this is that so December, that was actually, I forgot to put it there, actually the new data, the new month we have already, but this is the weekly. So all the New Zealand's is still strong. So when we look in the New Zealand's there, so there we are. So that's what I mean. Next week is going to be interesting. What is going to happen over there? We got a beautiful sort of kind of resistance over here. You know what I mean? And the first week down, nice opportunity to go. New Zealand yen. Looking that. That's a very strong 3 there. And that's actually much beautiful over there. So now we know maybe January is going to give us a nice weekly down. where we can actually do something over there. Euro New Zealand, possible here. So, but that's enough to tell us that possible, we don't have yet, but if it happen, it will happen. Here, for example, it's now starting. If we look in there, that's where the market comes twice. And are we gonna come and do, that's the end of the month. And this is gonna be the first week of that, which is could be quite interesting over there. Australia, New Zealand, let's continue. Nothing really has happened. I'm still in this trade since last year, and there it goes. New Zealand, Canadian, big top of the month. We don't have really a much of support. New Zealand, Swiss. This one maybe has some kind of support over there. So right over here. So and then what I want to do is watch this one over here, because here is when we're gonna have the big moves, as before. For example, if we're watching in here and we're looking on the 22nd of April, the US, like a New Zealand US. So for example, 22nd of April, March, May. Oh no, that's, I cannot do it through here. Sorry. Yeah, sometime when the weeklies are changing. So somewhere over there is the beginning of this week 17. So we look in New Zealand, pound, euro, Australia. So New Zealand, New Zealand. So must be there. No, that's March. That's what it is. This is April. I was in the wrong. That makes sense now. So in this case, that was a continuation for the New Zealand US, because the New Zealand is very weak over here and the US is strong. So that's a nice top over there. We say the pound. This case is only one. Australia, it was the other one. And that's in the top of that. So Australia, we're still looking short because US is more stronger, and here we are in this is the top of the month, and that's actually right in the place where I want to be. So to have something like this one on that, and that it is, nice week of retracements over there. US Euro US, that's now continue. So sort of there, and Canadian, that's a continuation as well. ABC. So two things that we're gonna find here is the retracement, the continuation. Swiss yen apparently has that's in the top of the month. So this is what we wanting, and we want to have the first week of that, and that's the trades that we want to get. All right. So next week is gonna be a quite interesting week. Well, I don't know whether this week will be any value at the end of the day, because we the market has closed, come back. So and non-farm payroll is next week. So I don't know whether this next week or the following week is going to be quite interesting. But that's what we want to get over here. The yen. So we're looking New Zealand yen, pound yen, Canadian yen. So the possible could be continuation, sort of a strength over there, which is good. and that is the first wick down. Nice trace, pound yen. This is sort of kind of, continuation, but if you're looking at there, you know, that's closing positive, this is negative, and that it is very nice run from there. Canadian, Australian, Euro. So Canadian, that's a nice pullback, and in the market, the Euro, another beautiful there, right in the top, the first week that turns around, and that's what we want, and really at the end of the month, at the beginning of those runs over here. Okay. All right, my friends, so it's 31 minutes. That should be enough, but this is, something that we need to keep an eye very closely between the monthly and the weekly, and try to get, all these, reversals opportunities when the market moves from month to month. Some months will be good, the other ones will be excellent. But if we can have, at least 3 runs per currency, like that, you will have quite nice opportunities the market. All right, so that will be all for today, and I already sent the index meta, so I'll see how it finishes the. I don't think so it has many numbers for this one. We got some losses, but then the rest should be quite okay. Okay, so we're expecting a good year, and yeah, looking this way, we will not have many trades anyway to be triggered, but definitely will be some kind of good. Yeah, give me just a few minutes, Kojo, and then I just need to talk to Helen, and then I have to compress the video so I can send it, and I said, all right, okay, see you on Monday, same time, same place.